Hello, everyone, and welcome to our virtual freezer meal workshop. Brittany and I are super excited.
Hi, I was like, oh, you can't hear me. I muted myself, so I'll just hold some cue cards. Hello, how are you today?
Right?
Welcome to my kitchen. It's called Imagine What I'm Saying.
Right. So we are going to be recording this just because we know that some people can't jump online with us. So we thought that we would record it so that everybody could watch it afterwards and do these yummy recipes. We are going to be making, six different recipes. They're all super quick. Most of them are absolutely no prep. You can put them in the freezer once you're finished, or you can cook it right from fresh. And we'll take you through each of them. The very first recipe that we're going to be making is the chicken French dip sandwiches. So, sorry about my daughter in the background. So the ingredients that you're going to need for this one are boneless chicken breast. You're going to need half an onion, two teaspoons of butter, a can of beef broth, 1 tablespoon of, let's see how well I can say this, Worcestershire, I can't say it, Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, no, that was a fail. 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of parsley. So normally you would mix that all up in a bowl and then you would put it into whatever you're going to be freezing in. I do prefer the freezer mates as opposed to the bags. 1, because I don't really like the single-use plastic idea. 2, I know it's going to keep fresher for longer. But I'm actually going to be cooking this one right for you today, so I'm just going to throw everything into the pressure cooker. Now, our pressure cooker, I have my chicken right here, is 100% safe in the microwave. It does have a ton of safety features in order to make sure that it doesn't blow up in your microwave. The first thing is it has this nice ring around it. Now, if you're ever cooking something with your pressure cooker and it doesn't pressurize, the first thing I suggest doing is taking a look at this ring. Now, it does look like it doesn't really show on it, but there is one way for it to go on. So if you're finding it's not pressure cooking, flip it over and then it should be good. The next safety feature we have right here is this little guy, this little yellow guy. So it pops up when it is not safe to open, so when there is a lot of pressure inside of it, and as soon as the pressure is gone, it'll go all the way back down. That's how you know that you can open it up. The other safety feature we have over here is this little valve here, and it actually is another depressurizer, so if too much pressure builds up here, it's going to let off some steam. The last thing we have here is the lock. So once you slide it on, you lock it into place, and it is safe for your microwave. And then to open it up, you just unclip that, turn it, and there we go. So let's get started on this. I have stuck my chicken in here, and then I'm going to take my little chopping prep here, and I have my onions. Now I have quite a few onions in here actually. Yes, baby, I'm actually going to use this because I need a little bit more. So this is our Power Chef. So I'm just going to throw, the recipe calls for half an onion. So I'm just going to put in some onion here. And you can obviously add as much or as little as you want. And then I've got some garlic, and it calls for 1 tablespoon of garlic. So I'm going to throw quite a few cloves, because really, who measures garlic? I feel like anytime that a recipe tells you how much garlic you should put in there, it's a guideline. And then we're just going to move this cutting board out of the way. Our Power Chef actually has a little rubber seal on it in order to help it grip your countertop. Now, if you're cooking along with us and you're using a knife, this is obviously going to take you a lot longer because I am done. Now, you can do it as thin or as thick as you'd like. But I mean, I much prefer to spend a couple seconds cutting my onions than a couple minutes. And there's no tears this way. So we'll just throw all of that in there. And just kind of place this off to the side. A little trick with the Power Chef is you can actually take the blade or the paddle that it comes with and stick it like this. So I'm gonna stick this back on my onions. Oh my goodness, the onion is strong. I've got my Worcestershire sauce. I will learn to say that by the end of this. We have butter.
I want to come too.
Where are you going?
No, I want to help you.
Okay, come here. Put the chair right here. Right here. We have our spices.
I don't want to go. I don't want
Not for anybody.
to
Garlic.
go.
And then I will show you one of my favorite pieces of Tupperware, our can opener. So you can see I have my broth here. And you just take it and you clip it on right there.
I want to help you, Mommy.
Okay, you want to mix that all up? Mix
Yeah.
that all up. And then you just turn it. Now, the really awesome thing about this can opener is it's great if you have little helpers like I do here, because it actually separates the glue from the can. It does not cut it. And I know a lot of people use it and then they take a look at it and they go, but it's not open. So what you have to do is this little lip right here, you actually, now I'm gonna try to do this without hitting Genevieve in the head, clip it to the top there and lift it off. And there you go. And then that is completely safe for your fingers. It's safe for all your little helpers around. You don't need tuna, you weirdo.
I want to put it on.
Hold on, can mommy mix it, please? And then we just kind of give it a quick mix. Hold on, honey bunny, please. It's getting in your eyes. I know the onion is strong, isn't it? Oh, honey bear. And then we're gonna take the lid of our pressure cooker and we're just gonna close it, lock it, and then I am gonna stick that, put that there, right in the microwave. So while this cooks, we're actually gonna have Brittany come on and she's gonna be showing us our next recipe.
Hello, everybody. So I'm just cleaning up my mess that I made. I have two little helpers that are adamant about helping. So they're my little sous chefs. So hang on. I am doing a few different recipes today. Watch out, baby. So the one that we're going to be cooking is the, watch out, honey, is the cube steaks with gravy. So I have, it's called for 6 cube steaks. And so I bought some steak and because I could not find cube steaks. And so what cube steaks is when they take the meat and they mechanically put it together. I went to 3 different stores, couldn't find it. So I just found steaks and decided, oh, well, they're on sale. We're going to buy them and we're just going to do that. So, so what I'm doing is 6 steaks. I got 2 cups of water in here with my beef, bouillon cubes. Is that how you say it? I got my 1 cup of onion in a chop and prep, half a cup of soy sauce. I got 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. I got a bunch of garlic because I don't measure it. I got my salt and pepper, and I put my steak spice on the steak because it makes everything taste better. So I'm gonna cut this because I want to chop because I had to pick a massive, huge onion, throw it in there. So I'm just going to throw all of this into my pressure cooker. I'm going to put the meat in first. And I'm just gonna, oopsies, you're eating the pepper. I'm just gonna lay the meat in there. So I was told by the butcher, he's like, you can try and do like cube steak at the house with like a knife, right? Well, this is what happens. So like apparently Tupperware knives are like really sharp. So I cut through one of them and I was like, well, we're not doing that to all of them. So we got them all here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put Worcestershire sauce in here. Hey Mason. Thanks. Gonna put your soy sauce. Gonna put garlic. And then I'm gonna pour this in here. There is a full line in the pressure cooker, so when you are cooking with it, you don't want to put your liquid much higher than that because it will overflow. So put this in here, and I got my salt and pepper, and I'm gonna put it in there. Oh, my eyes are burning, and it's not even from cutting the onions, it's just because I have this thing sitting near me. Oh. So we are having mashed potatoes, and we are having broccoli and carrots. What's up? I know. Oh, the onions are burning my eyes. I didn't even cut it. That's terrible. Okay, so on top of this, the other recipes that I'm going to be doing are the best ever healthy turkey chili. And then I'm going to do like a gumbo. I think it's called gumbo. I did it on Friday just to test it out. And it was really yummy. So this here, you put it in, just unlock it. Great, thank you. You put it in the microwave for 23 minutes and it'll cook. So again, I'm gonna have the gravy and I'm gonna have my mashed potatoes. So while I'm gonna put this into my microwave, and then I'm going to start with the turkey chili just to give Lynn some time to cook with her food because that did not take 20 minutes to get my thing done. So give me 1 second. I can turn this, but it's gonna be a mess. So just hang on. So that is in. So for the next recipe, we have the canned tomatoes. It calls to have like beans, different types of beans, but I just grabbed the bean mixture because we just prefer it. So I will get this all put together. I don't know if Lynn wants to talk about her cookies, and then when she's done talking about her cookies, then I can come back and I can do this. Lynn? If not, I'll just keep talking to you guys. So the next thing we're gonna do is, because I'm a professional at just not being prepared, unlike Lynn, she's very prepared. I am the not prepared type in our friendship. I just like to wing it. So.
Well, you're getting prepared for your next one. I can show them the potato soup.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you the loaded potato soup now. So for this recipe, you're going to need your potatoes, another onion, carrots, veggie stock or chicken stock. I'm going to be using a mixture of both. Garlic, butter, salt, pepper, and celery salt. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the potatoes. Now, you could use a bag of pre-prepared hash browns, but I don't really like them. So what I've done is I have actually cut up most of these using the mandolin. I thought to save a little bit of time, I would pre-cut most of it. You need 4 cups or 32 ounces of potatoes. So I'm going to move this out of the way. This is our mandolin. This is one of my favorite things in the kitchen. You can use it for potatoes. You can use it for French fries. Like, you can slice it. You can use it for different fruits. If you're making a sangria, which is super yummy. You can use it for sticks, julienne, cubes, which is how I've done these. And that's what I'm going to show you today. You can also use it for really cool diamond or waffle cut. Our mandolin comes with 2 safety features. We have this one, which is the blades here. This is actually what causes like the fry cut or the julienne cut. And then we have over here, which is the thickness of this blade. When both of them are in lock, you can see it is completely safe for your hands. Now I'm going to unlock them. So you can see I've changed the blade to the maximum thickness here. So obviously I would not touch that with my hands now. And then we are going to put this at 9 to make it the biggest cut. It also has legs here and it's got a handle here for a stabilizer. Now, this is the other safety feature of the mandolin. This is the guard that you'll actually use when cutting the whatever you're using to cut. If you look while you're holding it, your fingers are actually fully covered by this little piece here, and it makes it so that your blades are never, or your fingers are never close to the blades. So to do it, hopefully you can see that. Here, I'll move this out of the way, move this back. You take this and you literally just push it in like that. I'm gonna bring my mandolin back here. So to do the cube cut, you go up. Now, if you get a stubborn potato, you just give it a little bit of a wiggle. So you went up, turn 90 degrees, and wiggle, 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 back, down, up, wiggle, 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 turn, and down. And you can see I'm holding on to here at the same time. Up, turn, down. And it makes it much easier when you say it out loud. Up, turn, down. Oh, wiggle, 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 wiggle. There we go. Up, 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 and turn and down. Up, turn and down. I feel like I'm just turning it all ways, but it's okay because it still gives the same thing there. And then you can see I have these beautiful, little cubes. So I'm just going to put them into my measuring cup because I want to make sure that I have the right amount. And I do. Now for this recipe, if you're baking it in a freezer bag, which you should really invest in some freezer mitts because they're much better, you would put it into a bowl, mix everything up, and then you can actually put it into the bag. Getting rid of as much air as possible. Because I'm using the freezer mitt, I'm literally just going to stick it right into my container. So it also saves me a dish. One dish. And then I'm going to get my trusty Power Chef bag because I'm going to take a couple more cloves of garlic. I'm going to take another onion, a little bit more this time than what I used for the last one. And then I'm also going to grab some carrots. Now I keep my carrots in a Fridge Smart container. If you haven't seen Fridge Smart containers before, you super do need them in your fridge. They will save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars on produce. I used to throw away a ton of berries, especially before I found these guys. And all you do is you match the produce inside to the legend on the front, and that'll tell you what setting to put it on at the top. So we've got that all in our Power Chef. We're just going to put this on properly. It's a little wet from cleaning it off from the other recipe. There we go. Dry my hands. And off. This is a great thing about being on a live video or recording video. Now I ask you, if you were doing this in your own house with just knives, how much longer would this take you? Look at that, all cut up. So I'm going to move it. I've left some pieces a little bit bigger. It's because it's soup, and that makes it good. Put it in there. Use our spatula to get all the goodness out because I don't want to miss any of it. And then we're going to add in, where are you? There you are. So this is a 1/4 cup of butter. Now, because we try to be as dairy-free as possible, this is actually margarine. But if you like margarine or butter, you can use butter. And then in here, I have 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon or half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of celery salt, and excuse me, I added a little bit of paprika just because it's delicious. And then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to add in 4 cups of stock. Now I'm going to use 2 cups of veggie and 2 cups of chicken. And you literally just pour it all in together. Now, if you want, you can add ham to it. I believe you can add, I think it's 2 cups of chopped up ham, but that is completely optional. And then 2 cups of chicken stock. And you can use 4 cups of chicken stock. You can use 4 cups of veggie stock. It really just depends on what your family's preference is. That's my favorite thing about the recipes that we're making today is the fact that these are fully customizable to your family's taste. And then literally, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir all together. Now, when you're ready to cook this, you can literally just take this whole thing and stick it right in your crock pot or your pressure cooker. And in the pressure cooker, it's going to take probably about, I want to say probably about half an hour, especially from frozen. If you're using your slow cooker, it's going to take 5 hours on high, or it's going to take 7-8 hours on low. Now, the other thing I want you to think about, oh, I'm sorry, Genevieve, especially right now, given the, oh, let me move this out of the way. Okay, you can stir it. Especially now, given the rates of hydro, do you really want to be using your slow cooker for 7 to 8 hours? That's going to be, we're adding the egg, not to this one, we're adding the egg to the cookies afterwards. Do you really want to spend that much time in your peak hours of hydro? Because I know that I don't. I would much rather. Here, we can add a little bit more veggie sauce. There you go. Yay, you helped. Because I know saving money is definitely a big priority in my house. So that is our next recipe. Oh, you're just gonna stick it right back in, aren't you? Brittany, are you ready to show off your next one?
Yes, so we just had a child throw my entire thing of sugar across the kitchen. Bronson, get down, please. Yeah, it's all gone because you threw it all over the place. He's all like upset now because he threw it. And so I was just getting the sausages ready to put into here. So these guys here, this recipe is great because when you buy these sausages, they're already cooked. So there's literally no cooking involved. So when I put this into my freezer, everything will be frozen together. You take it out because the one thing that's great about these guys is that when you have a frozen sauce or anything like that, you take it and you can just kind of like pull it and you can see that it will start to loosen up. And so you can take out the whole thing like this and just dump it in. So, but if you don't have these, then you should buy them. But if you don't, then you could also just get large freezer bags and put all the stuff in there. And then when you want to cook it, you just throw it all into your slow cooker or your pressure cooker. But as Lynn was saying, like I with all the hydro rates going up, like I don't really want to be having my slow cooker running for 6 to 8 hours a day. So I'm just gonna get this ready since I'm in the middle of doing that, and then you can see what I'm doing with the turkey, because with the turkey, I'm actually going to be having to cook it before I actually put it in. Whereas the beef, it's easier to cook it from raw. So, so I'm just gonna pour this into here. It's all mixed in. And so I will end up putting this into the freezer with all of my spices, and that'll be a meal for us probably on Wednesday. So for the chili, I got my beans. I'm just gonna pour them in here. I'm putting in apple cider vinegar. Hang on, Mason, please. I'm gonna put apple cider vinegar in here. All of my spices. I'll just go in here. Sorry, guys. No. Pour this in. And so I will brown up my turkey and throw it in to here. And I will put it into my freezer and I will label it. And those are 2 easy meals that I can throw together in 23 minutes. And it will be like I've been cooking all day. Oh, also my garlic. Gotta put your garlic in there, right? So that's in there. One thing I love about Tupperware is everything is so easy to use once you get it. It's about making your life easy and simple and not creating more stress. So that is something that I have learned to love about Tupperware. I should really have somebody helping me do all the things. So I do have an onion that I would put in both of those, but my thing is in the dishwasher. So that is what is going on right now. We have 8 minutes until my stuff's done. We're going to stir the potatoes. See if they're going to be done. So, Lynn, how is your stuff coming along?
My baby side.
So good. I have about 7 minutes left on my pressure cooker. So I figure I have one more recipe to make and then I have the cookies to show. So I feel like by the time I finish those 2 things, it should be hopefully done. How's yours coming?
It's come along good, as you know, as long as my kids stop throwing containers of sugar across the kitchen. Should be fine.
But this just shows Tupperware with moms.
It's as soon as I'm doing something that doesn't involve like something with them, then
Right.
they want to destroy all the things.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
And I'm very hard to concentrate because like my husband is here and they're like, it's like he's invisible, right? Because they're just like, yeah, mommy. I'm like, your daddy's right there. You can ask him. Right there.
I know my husband is literally sitting and playing on his phone in the other room, and I have Genevieve beside me singing and dancing and just, it's like daddy doesn't exist because mommy is doing something that doesn't involve them.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay, let's get started. So we're going to be making the cilantro lime chicken now. Now, I tested out this recipe and I did actually post a little teaser in the event. It was really yummy, wasn't it? It's super easy. I feel like this is probably one of the easiest recipes that I found to make.
Halloween too.
Yeah, it was just before Halloween. So for this one actually calls for a pound of boneless and skinless chicken. But you don't have to, you can really use whatever you have in here. So I'm gonna try not to touch the chicken with my hands so that I don't have to go wash my hands. There we go. And then to this, we are going to add half a cup of orange juice and half a cup of chicken stock. If you are using an actual crock pot, you would use 1 cup of each. But because I am using my pressure cooker, I don't need that much liquid. Savings for me. Okay, you're going to use, throw the whole thing in there, the whole thing. We're going to use 1 can of black beans. There we go, good job. Now these were drained and rinsed and drained. And then we're going to add 1 can of corn. You can use frozen corn. Yeah, you can add the corn in it. You can use frozen corn if that's what you have. I had a can of corn in my pantry, so this is what I'm using. I feel like I did that way longer than I needed to. Okay, move this out of the way. The whole thing. Dump it in there. Whoa! Good job.
Washing.
Oh, squashing.
Yeah, now it's time to put them in the oven.
And then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of cumin. Yeah. Hold on, mommy's gonna do this one. You can add more or less depending on what you think. I'm gonna add just kind of a little bit less. Here. Here. Good job.
I want to do it for my own.
No, we don't only need it for 1 teaspoon. And then finally, I'm going to take our chopping prep, which is the baby brother. You can, but let me put the stuff in it first, you silly goose. And we're going to add some parsley. No, cilantro. My goodness. Now this is about half a cup-ish. You can, again, use more or less, depending on what your family likes. Limes. And we're going to take some garlic. You can have the limes afterwards. Stick all of that in there. I know, you're going to do it. And Genevieve's going to show you how easy it is to do this. So Mama's going to hold it down. You're going to turn it. You can't turn it and do it. Okay, here, do then. And as you can see, it is very, very easy to prep. Yeah. Okay, Mama, do now?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Easy, nice and fine. Again, if you're doing it at home, you're using your knife. I'm sorry that that took you so long to get it at consistency. Mommy needs that lime, pretty bunny. I need that lime. I don't know why she's so obsessed with limes, but like, they're literally one of her favorite things. I bought 5 limes for this recipe, knowing full well that I only needed 2, because I knew that not all 5 of them would make it to tonight. You can have them after I squeeze the juice out of it. How about that? Now you're just gonna take it? Okay. And we are down to 2.5 limes. So for this, I'm gonna be using our Zest and Press. Now this actually turns the lime almost completely out, getting a major, like probably almost all of the juice out. You just give it a quick squeeze. And you can see it has turned it completely inside out. And you just do this. And there we go. That is your cilantro lime chicken. Now we'll just give it a quick kind of stir. This is probably one of my favorites that we're prepping. The smell of this is amazing. It serves really well over a bed of rice. And it has lots of protein into it because you have your chicken and you also have beans into it. It's got your vegetables, and it just has a really nice, really flavorful flavor palette. So this will cook for 3 to 4 hours at high, 6 hours at low in a crock pot, and it cooks for about 27 minutes in your pressure cooker. And again, we just put the lid on, and that is ready. If you are using a freezer bag, you would make sure to get as much air out of it as possible, and that's it. So there's our 2 there. So the last thing that I have to show you is cookies, because what would a meal be without a dessert? And when I was trying to think of a dessert that I wanted to do for today, I wanted to find something that would be really easy. Oh, there is my pressure cooker. So let me show you. Now, I don't know if you can hear that sizzle, but you can see that little yellow guy is pointing straight up. So I'm just going to stick him off to the side. We're going to let that depressurize. Now, as I was saying, when I was trying to think of a recipe that I wanted to make, I wanted something that was one, quick and easy, because the entire purpose of this is to show you quick and easy meals that you can have for your family. So I wanted a recipe for a dessert that was going to be the same. And then I thought, chocolate chip cookies. Now, these are actually made in our fresh and cool ice cube tray. And the really cool thing about that is, one, you're going to make sure that they are a consistent size, and two, they're actually really easy to pop out. And once I finish showing you this, I'm going to show you some that I have actually pre-prepped. But let me just give this a little bit of wash first, because I do not want my cookies tasting like cilantro and garlic, because that would be kind of gross. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to, grab a bowl. This is one of our little vegetables, actually. And then I'm going to take my flour. Now, I have halved this recipe just because it fits better in the fresh and cool cookie container. When I send everybody the recipe, if you're watching this, let me know if you want the full recipe or the half recipe, and then, or both, and I'll give you both. So this, I'm going to have 1 3/4 cup of flour. And then we're going to take, that is the sugar, chocolate, and then in here we have 5/8 teaspoon of baking soda, and then we also have 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and 3/8 teaspoon of salt. As I said, I have half the recipe, so we're going to have some weird measurements. And then we kind of just give that a quick stir, because we want the dry ingredients to be completely incorporated. And then we just kind of put it off to the side. Now we have our Power Chef again. And with the Power Chef, I'm going to be using the blade attachment. I did try it earlier using the whip attachment, and it does not cream the butter the way that I would like it. So a little tough tip is, when you're creaming butter, always use the blade. And in here, we're just going to add our butter, which is, where are you? 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons. Oopsies. Oopsies. Got it right at the top there. And then to that, we're going to add our sugar. And our sugar is 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 1 cup and 1 tablespoon of white sugar. I'm just going to stick that in there like that. And then we're going to cream that until nice and incorporated. Oh, we need to get this. And I'm just using, I don't know if anybody saw, these were out just before school started. They are actually they're the ideal little bowls, but they came in a set with the lunch containers. They're just so cute. I have this one for the yellow for the chocolate chips, and then I also use the blue for the orange juice in the last one. Again, we just put our thing on like that. Now you could use an electric mixer to do this, but I do much prefer the Power Chef. And just like with anything, you kind of just want to make sure that the sides get all incorporated down. And then we can keep on going. Now, once everything is nice and incorporated like that, we're going to add to it 1 egg. Do you want to come cut this or break this egg? No? Okay. You're good with your line? Okay. She's literally been waiting to cut or to crack the egg the entire time that I've been doing this.
Let them do it.
Okay, here. Yeah, let me help. You ready? Remember, you stick your thumbs in Yep. Oh goodness.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
What's a little eggshell in your cookies? I think I got all of it. We're okay. Here, let me get you. Here you go.
That was an egg with jam in my hand.
Yep, so then we're just going to make that. You just want the egg to be well incorporated.
Thank you, Mommy.
And then to that, we're going to add our vanilla. So we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Good.
Good. And this is one of our half teaspoons, so I'm going to add 2. And again, you want to make sure that it is all combined. Once that is all combined, then you're going to start adding in your dry ingredients. So we're going to add a little bit at a time. Probably do it in about 2. Add about a half in. Motor back on. You're going to start feeling it get a little bit tighter or a little bit harder to pull. That just shows you that the dry is getting incorporated. So we're going to get some of that down on the sides there. And leave a bit more of the dry in. Oopsies. You don't want to overmix it, but you do want it to all be nice and incorporated. So you can see that that is pretty good. Again, get it all down from the sides. Last time. Safe. Thank you, lock on the power chef. And then we're just going to take the blade out because you do want to mix the chocolate chips in by hand. That would have been such a fail if those cookies had fallen on the floor. The Tupperware gods were loving me at that moment. Take your chocolate chips, and this is 3/4 of a cup. Dump them in like that. And give it a quick stir. My table is all wet, which is why it's slipping.
Mommy,
Yep.
I just know I want to put some flour in.
That's all done. So there is your cookie dough all ready. So I'm going to grab the other ones that I've prepared.
No, I want a banana popsicle.
After honey, move. Move.
I want a banana popsicle.
Genevieve, please. Honey bear, please. After, move. We're going to have supper. So this is our fresh and cool container. So you can see that I have frozen them in there. They have the little buttons on the bottom. So all you do is pop it up, and then you have a little cookie that you can actually place on your baking sheet. You put into the oven at about 350 degrees. Now they do take about, I want to say about 10 minutes to cook. I will confirm that on my recipe card. I did not write it down. If you're cooking it from frozen, it's just going to take that little bit longer. My favorite part about this dessert is sometimes you only feel like one cookie. You can actually pop all of these out and put them into another freezer mate. And then say if you want one cookie, your kids were really good, you want to reward them, you can pop out 2 or 3 and then you can bake them up and then you have nice fresh cookies whenever you want them. So that is our cookies. Anything extra, I've also done this if you don't have the fresh and cool ice cube container. You can just take a little spoonful and put them into a freezer space container. It's the same thing. You just take off that frozen block, stick them onto a cookie sheet, and bake it up. I do prefer the fresh and cool container because, as you saw, they were much more even and uniform in this than I did them in this. But that is 2 options for you. Now, my pressure cooker is still showing me that that little guy is up. Brittany, how's yours looking?
It is all done.
Whoa.
So all I'm doing right now is I'm making the gravy. So I'm just debating on how I want to transfer this. I think I might just take the liquid out. I have a very angry baby downstairs. You can hear him, he's so mad. So I got the broth from in there. So I got some flour here, and so I'm just gonna put it in and I'm gonna whisk it, and it's gonna make a broth. I have a lot of extra broth left over, so I'm actually gonna probably save that. I'll probably freeze it because it'll be good to add to soups or something. So I'm just going to boil that up. I got my potatoes, they're done. My broccoli's done. I got my stuff is in my freezer mates. So this is my gumbo, and this is my chili. And so they will go into my freezer. And that'll be our meals. Probably we'll have the chili tomorrow, and then we'll do the gumbo on Wednesday. My husband's on days, so this will make it easy because typically when he comes home, I don't like cooking when he's on days because I cook when he's on second and third shifts. So that is always a nice help to find really fast and easy meals for us. So yeah, this, I got this and I wanted it specifically for those days when you're like rushing around, or I've actually had days where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a roast, and then I forget to like turn it on, which sucks. And so this kind of just takes the pressure cooker takes away all of that. I can just turn it on and walk away, and I have to like deal with kids or do whatever. Like it's easy to just make a meal and walk away and not have to worry about kids playing with the stove or anything. So I'm putting my stuff in here. Oh, is your stuff done?
Oh yeah, so I just taken the chicken out and I put it in a clearly elegant bowl, and I'm literally just sitting here with 2 forks and shredding it, and I don't think I have ever had chicken shred this easily.
Oh really?
Yeah, like it smells amazing too. Like I cannot wait to do this. So I'm just gonna finish shredding this. I'm gonna cut up some dairy-free cheese for me and my daughter, and then I bought my husband Havarti non-dairy-free, non-lactose-free cheese, so that he should be super excited because he does not have the same dairy restrictions as my daughter and I. And I know he feels a little bit left out that he doesn't get to have all of his fun things anymore in the house. So I thought that I would surprise him with that. So that is my chicken all shredded. Like
this is so good.
Yep. And then what we're going to do is you can actually take this this juice here and you can dip it in afterwards. And we basically come to the end of our freezer meal workshop. I feel like we have a lot of really good recipes. We're probably going to have the potato soup today or tomorrow, and then we'll probably have the cilantro chicken sometime this week just because we just had it. And there we go. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope
Thank you.
As I said, we've recorded this, so I'm going to actually be uploading it to YouTube. So we'll have a special YouTube thing for everybody who wants it. And there we go. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.